You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, the minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time has somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. This is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts come close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me minds, healing all the hearts. Ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever. The secret is whenever. The secret is together we are.
Hello, friends. Welcome. Centers for Spiritual Living in St. George. Welcome, welcome. Our practice is the term ARISE, and it stands for awareness, radical responsibility, inside-out living, spirit is all there is, and everyone is doing the best they can with what they have and where they are, and so am I. Our vision for Centers for Spiritual Living St. George is a community-focused center, actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best lives. And our mission for Centers for Spiritual Living in St. George is an open, inclusive, and an evolving spiritual community that supports its purpose and vision through sacred wisdom celebrations, empowering transformative education, youth and young adult programs, dynamic music ministry, community inreach, and community outreach. We have a full team today. Yay! We have as our tech, Tony Kovach. Myself, I'm hosting Stephanie Sterrett, a practitioner for Science of Mind. Our music is a return for Alan Stanley. Please giving a standing ovation for this man for coming through and being back with us. And Bill Smith will be giving our invocation. He's also a practitioner for Science of Mind. And our reading is by Charles Smith. And of course, our talk is by Rev Joe Kovach. We can't wait to hear what he has to say today. Our August, or our yearly thing is on the wings of love. And today, love is my decision. And that's perfect because my thing for today is I am made in the image of love. So I am love. So it is my decision. So let's take it away, team.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. It's good to be back. Good to be back. Love is my decision. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me the start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here, right now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here, right now.
Good morning, St. George and beyond. I'm Bill Smith, and I am honored and pleased to offer today's invocation. Please join me. So I know as we start this Sunday celebration that we are in the presence We're in the presence of that all-encompassing, infinite, energetic presence that we call God. That God that produced produced me and runs through me at all times. And as we are all one, I know that this infinite presence is running through each and every one of us. And in particular today, as we talk about love, and knowing that love is my decision, and it can be anyone else's decision. I know that Reverend Joe's talk strikes directly to the heart of this love. And I know that the music that we're hearing from Alan today strikes a chord in my heart. And I know that as we move through today's ceremony and celebration, I know that I am opened, and I know that I am more receptive to love in my life. So I just know that all is good, and I release my word and let it be so. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can carry my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here, right now. My decision right here, right now. Now we're going to bring Charles on to read for us. Hello, Charles.
Good morning, Alan, and everybody. In the past, I've taken many of my readings from the online source, the Jewish World Review. Each weekday, it publishes several news and opinion pieces reflecting Israeli and American interests. Some of the most interesting articles to me are the explanations of religious points by various rabbis. This one by Rabbi David Aaron carries the intriguing title, Can You Forgive the Lord? In this commentary, Rabbi Aaron wrote in part, The imperfect world is the perfect place for a dynamic life filled with challenge, growth, and love. That's the way God planned it. Here's what the Torah tells us. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was chaos and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. God intentionally created the world in a state of chaos, void, and darkness. But God didn't just create the world, rather God created work to do. And for whom did God leave this undone work? For you and me. That's why the Torah says God completed his work and then seems to contradict itself by saying, and he abstained from all his work. The word abstain means an interruption in work, not a completion of that work. So what is the Torah teaching us? Is the world complete, or was it left incomplete? The answer is, the most complete world for humanity is an incomplete world where we can be a partner in its completion. Growth and love. It's the perfect place for a perfect becoming. Each day we encounter the forces of chaos, void, and darkness within the world and within ourselves. And each day we are offered the opportunity to become God's partner in building the world and completing ourselves. This is the meaning of the covenant God makes with Abraham. God tells Abraham, I am El Shaddai, walk before me and become complete. The message to Abraham was, I am the one who said enough. The world was advancing towards its completion. However, God said enough and stopped it. Therefore, God intentionally caused the world to be incomplete in order that we can become God's associate creators of this world. We have come into this world to build it and be built by it. Who you are is God's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to God. So, at least according to Rabbi Aaron, Jewish teaching includes the concept that we co-create our lives with God, or spirit, or universe. Choose the name you're most comfortable with. Rabbi Aaron then concludes by he said, I have a very loving dentist, and as he drills away at my tooth, he continually asks me to forgive him for the pain he is causing. And although everything he is doing is only for my own good, it's possible for me to forget at times and feel angry. And so too, in this sometimes painful and challenging life of growth, it's important, for our own sakes, to forgive God. Even though deep down we intuit that everything that happens is an expression of ultimate goodness. The opportunity to rise to challenges, make courageous choices, and serve God to manifest divine goodness is God's very gift of life. Can you trust that it is all for the best and forgive God? In writing Science of Mind and developing our philosophy, Ernest Holmes was inspired in part by the common understanding of the world's great religions. We often quote the Eastern religions and philosophies in honoring this inspiration. But this writing by Rabbi Aaron reminds us that we have much in common with Western thought as well. And so it is.
So it is, Charles. Thank you so much. That's great. I'll take that job as an associate. I was going to do an Ozzy Osbourne song, but I can't find my makeup. It's here somewhere. But anyway, so I back up and go back to one of my favorite couples, the Judds. I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes on my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Thank you, Alan. Great music, a
Thank you,
great
Stephanie.
reading, a great prayer. Where else could love want to be?
It's a great day.
Yeah, right here, right now. All right. Okay, I'd like to welcome our Reverend Joe, I do believe.
Good morning.
Yes. All right, good morning.
And are you having a life of love today?
Of course. What else could I see through but the eyes of love?
And how good was it to hear Alan playing again? God
Yes.
is good. All that healing complete.
Yes.
Thank you, God. So good morning, community. How are you? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's been an interesting weekend in the household of the Kovaches, and we're just moving along, and just like we were singing, knowing it's all for our best and highest good. So I'm knowing, and without a doubt, that everything that is happening in your life right now, whether you feel stuck, outcast, whether you feel just on fire with the Spirit, life is limitless. There is always more. And so I want to say thank you for everybody who showed up last week in person. I love our in-person meetings, and I do look forward to the day coming soon when we do this every weekend in person. And I had a good time, and I loved the breakdown of our teaching symbol. I hope if you missed last week's talk, please go and watch that. The idea of focusing on that V in our symbol right behind me, the V, because most people are not sure what that means. And so just kind of going off the back, right? We're talking about On the Wings of Love all month long. And today's talk is Soaring in Love. And I love the fact that we're talking about love and it's not February. So because love is all there is, right? I can end the talk on that. And so as I was preparing for this talk, I'm thinking about life and love. And then the idea came to me to what could be an acronym for what is life? And what I came up with, my incredibly creative slides, is love in form expressing. That's what life is. Life is love in form expressing. I love that. And I'm grateful to Spirit for allowing that to share that with you. So what we talked about and always talk about, that life, love, Spirit, it's one, what we call omnipresent, everywhere present, omnipotent, meaning all powerful, omnipresent, meaning all present everywhere all the time. It is a power, a force, and I like to use the word as a presence. Right? It is unlimited, although it expresses itself and can express itself in seemingly limited ways as we have this human experience. But the truth of the matter is it's really not. And that as in our philosophy, we take a look and we understand, or the more we understand what love actually is and how we can express it in our lives, that it continues to expand. First, we must love ourselves, and that allows us then to understand it and express it in our own life towards others. And now I want you, I'm just hearing what I said, that love expands, and that's not true. Because love can't be expanding. Love is all there is. And so a better way of saying that is our awareness of love is what is expanding, because love is always there. That's the power and the presence. It's the power, and in science of mind terms, it's the power and the principle, right? And so I want you to, in your mind, hold the idea or the image of a hawk or an eagle soaring on the wind. Just take a moment, let that happen in your mind. A large bird, and you could just see it soaring and coasting. Are you aware of what you're aware of? What's happening in this picture in your mind? One thing I want to point out is as that bird is soaring, what it's not doing, it's not flapping wildly, it's not straining. It's just simply floating, simply being. They open their wings and they fly and they trust, and the wind lifts them. They allow that to happen. And just as the air would lift a bird in flight, divine love lifts our lives. And that's a universal thing. Now, it may take some flapping in the beginning to get ourselves off of this ground and realize who and what we truly are. Right? But again, this idea of love, it's a power and it's a principle that sets the direction of our life. It's the invisible current that keeps us aloft. And in essence, at the same time, keeps us alive. It is life itself. Love is just one aspect of the one, of source, that love is one of the ways we use to describe it. And what we know is that when we align with love, and when I'm talking about love, I'm not, again, talking about physical affection towards another person. I'm talking about this love that when you're in it, it's indescribable. You literally just feel the presence of life itself. It's an energy, it's an essence, it's who you are. And when you're in it, again, like the bird, you're not flapping feverishly. You're not trying to control every gust of wind. You trust. And you trust because you know. You recognize what is happening. You recognize truth in your life. And that from there on, it's just an infinite mover. We like to use the word upward. But we recognize like that's for us to understand, low and high and so forth. But we'll just use the word upward, meaning and beyond, limitless in our experience. So truly, it's advantageous to go with the flow. At the same time, let's be honest, there's a lot of times when we don't choose to soar. It's a choice. We feel like we're grounded. We feel like life is happening to us, that wind that can lift us is actually pushing against us for some reason, and it's keeping us down, weighed down. We have fear that we have to deal with. We feel separated. We don't feel worthy. And it's like almost like a spiritual gravity, right? Pulling us down from our happy place in the sky. And so I have a neat experiment I'd like to do that I discovered this week. That I think really helps this idea of why we seem to feel grounded. So what I'm going to ask of you right now is to look around the room, take a minute and look all directions, up, down, behind you, all around, and notice everything in the room that is brown. So go ahead, look all around you, and look around. What's brown? Okay. You got that? All right. So now I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay. And now write a list in your mind of everything that you saw that was blue. Now, obviously, you saw more brown than you did blue because simply that's what you were looking for. So open your eyes again. And now I want you to look around the room again, but I want you to look for this time everything that is blue and discover maybe what you didn't notice before. So look around the room and notice how much blue is in your room. Okay. Are you going to find more? Of course you will. You're going to see more blue because you were consciously and intently looking for that. Now, the blue was there the whole time, but at first you were looking for brown. And so the idea is once you develop a belief, you will find that life steps up to support it. No matter what that belief is. If it's aligned with truth, that's probably a good thing, we would say. It's life affirming. It's going to help you in a direction. If it's non-life affirming, if it's something that we would deem as negative, life will still support it. And then we say, I'm looking for brown, but I'm really wanting blue. And all I can find, I want blue, and all I can see is brown. Did you notice? Oh, and going back to that idea, I almost skipped this one important part. Going a little deeper. When I asked you to look for brown, did you look at things that were maybe not quite brown, like beige, but include them in because you wanted to feel successful? And when I asked you to notice things that were blue, did you accept things that maybe weren't really blue, but maybe like a teal or an aqua? And again, why is that? It's because our brain and our mind wants to feel successful, our ego, and so it just does what it has to do, right? So spiritually, if you believe that you are broken, unworthy, if you're depressed and it's somebody else's fault, you're dumb, you're unattractive, whatever, if you feel like you're unable to fly, guess what? That's the color that you're coloring yourself in. And that's what you will attract in life for things to support you to. Even though, again, it may not actually true. Obviously, it's not true. But your belief makes it true. That's where you're putting your conscious focus. And therefore, life has to say, okay. Now, that is not God punishing us. That is God's giving us a free will to say, hey, you are co-creators with me. Tell me what you want. And we say, okay, I want this. But then we don't live up. We're not really looking for that. Meanwhile, the love, the success, the fulfillment, the health, the wealth, the prosperity, the abundance, it's all there, just like the blue was there the whole time, but we weren't looking for it. So what we're looking for, again, the first thing in the A in arise, awareness is so important because that dictates what's going to show up. What we believe, what you believe is self-evident. And then what happens is you continue to trap yourself, in essence, deeper because you're then living a lifestyle that protects this falsehood because, we don't want to be wrong. That would be horrible. Instead of just severing the tide, severing that anchor that's holding us down, we want to fly, but in essence, we're grounding ourselves. So you will always find what you're looking for. So be impeccable in what you're asking of life to experience. How can I find more love? That's focused on love, not how can I stop attracting all the wrong people? How can I expand my awareness of love is maybe even a better place to start. So in essence, yes, we're talking about training our minds to recognize the experience that we want. So one of these simple yet profound tools that we have is something called a mantra. Okay, so it's just a way to train the mind. It's similar to an affirmation, yet slightly different. And with mantras, we give our mind something to focus on. So what if we use this mantra, love is here now, revealing itself to me? Right? So again, thinking of the idea of blue, beige and blue, or brown and blue, okay, this is what I want my mind to focus on. Now, it may not be instantaneous because we're so ingrained in looking for the lack of love in our lives. Okay, it's going to take some time, so be easy on it. But the more that, and the idea is to repeat this. And you're going to ask me how many times? However many times it takes so that it's automatic in your awareness and the experience begins to show up in your life. That change in the direction that you want it to shows up in your life. Breathe that in. You're the one in charge of your life. Okay? So if you're struggling right now in any aspect, create your own simple mantra, or you can look them up online, whatever you want, but something that resonates within your heart and soul, in your presence, because that's really the energy that's saying, yes, this is what I want to experience. And then you repeat it and training and practicing, seeing more moments of love in your life, right? Where we might have missed them before. Because remember, it's already there. And we're going to say, no, it's not. Well, you're going to say it's not because you've attracted all these things according to the current belief you have. And so it does take a minute to shift beliefs because the mind can only believe one thing at a time. And so your negative belief has a certain amount of power. And then here comes this little new belief. And even though this is what we really want, it doesn't have the momentum, the power in essence. But eventually the trade-off happens. Okay. It has to. That's what we call law. Ernest Holmes would say, if we would look for a God of love, we must look long and deeply into each other. We must look away from the differences until we penetrate into the unity of the whole. Love alone reveals love. Hate but hides the gleam. So focus on that last part. Love alone reveals love. If you want more love, if you want more prosperity, if you want a greater understanding of health and wellness in your life, that's what you must decree is happening, even in the moment when you think it's not, right? Again, okay, I'm seeing brown everywhere, but that blue is always there. Just like in our life right now, everything that we want to experience is a possibility and has the means to come into a creative expression in our life. Okay? But we have to declare, okay, and change that focus to enter and allow that to enter into our lives. Okay? Now, going back to the eagle or the hawk, the bird, it needs both wings to fly. And in our teaching, I believe we have two wings, and you've heard them before. Our wings are love and law. Love is that felt connection to the divine, to each other, to ourselves. And law is the creative process that brings thought into form. Okay, we get caught up in the word law and let go of what you think. It's just the idea that our thoughts become things, and that is the way, that is the process of being. That consciousness, thought, becomes a reality for us. Now, remember, whatever those thoughts we're holding is what's going to show up. Okay? We don't get to necessarily determine the exact way until we master it, but we got to start somewhere. Ernest Holmes says, love points the way and law makes the way possible. Simple yet profound. I love it. Now, if we're only using one wing to try to take off, we're not going anywhere. And if we're flying up high on a nice current, okay, then what's going to happen if I stop using one wing? I'm going to circle and drop. So in that way, we can't just focus on one of the two wings that we use. If we just focus on love, and never do anything about it, and never really, or we don't believe and buy into this creative process, then we're only using one wing. We're not experiencing the fullness of our expression. And likewise, if we kind of forget the love part, right, the divine energy part, and think we're doing it, little us, we may have some success, but eventually we're going to be grounded. So it's kind of one way I came up with the idea is kind of like love is the GPS and law is the engine, in the car. Like you have to work together. When you have love gives us direction, and the engine gives us the momentum to get to where we want to go. Okay. So last year I had, and I've mentioned many times, it was a challenging year at work. As our analogy, I would say I was doing circles and crashing quite a bit, even though I knew better. But I kind of lost my way and I was out of balance. And as you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to right yourself when you're in the middle of a storm. And yet I would keep recalling what Ernest Holmes says, which is the only God you and I will ever know is the one we embody. And so this summer I did a lot of reflecting and realized I wasn't embodying truth of love. What I was embodying was a lot of judgment and disrespect for others and separation. In other words, not truly seeing them as the divine in expression, just as I am. And so I was able to reset, right? So I was able to get to the point to where I felt I was using both wings again and feel that rise in my consciousness, right? Because when we use only one wing, again, we just fly in circles. But when we're using both, we're using our full self, then it's effortless. And obviously last year I knew I was off because it wasn't effortless. It was a lot of work just to try to be happy. And I was blaming everything else there, even though I know that's not the right direction. And I share this with you because I don't have it all down either. And it's a constant daily discipline of spiritual work and practices. And so and one of the other things I did was continue to remind myself the E in Arise, everyone's doing the best they can with what they have and where I'm at. So one, I kind of helped to let them off the hook because again, it really wasn't them. It was my response or reaction to them. And so I just simply challenged myself this summer before school started this year is no matter what, there is nothing worth taking me out of my joy. That's how I word it to myself. That when I'm in joy, everything flows. It's like I'm using both wings. I'm on the wings of love. I'm just doing my thing. It's effortless, and I don't have to work to be happy, work to laugh and enjoy where I'm at, no matter where I'm at, whether it's at work or home or somewhere or in traffic or wherever. No excuse is big enough to give up my joy. And so another part of that skill, and this is a counseling skill, but I'm sure you're aware of it, which is simply active listening. Meaning I realized I was tired of hearing myself, jump into conversations that were not helpful, that were focused on what I didn't want to experience. And so it's amazing so far. I've had 3 full weeks of work. Every day has been a good day. Most of the people around me haven't changed. If I were to be, what's the word? I'm going to use the word judgmental. It's probably overall things are kind of in a worse place than they were last year, but I'm staying in my joy. I'm able to do what I do. And what I realize is my focus is on the students, and I'm having a great time. They're having a great time so far. And it works. And sometimes, again, when you're in that storm, we got to get out of the storm to try to fix things sometimes, or wait till the storm subsides, right? And then, so, it's that spiritual practice that we talk about all the time. And as we rise higher and higher, as the birds do, like as we consciously, as we rise in our consciousness, what happens? The same thing that happened for me with regards to my job. The landscape looks different, right? From the ground, when we're grounded, everything looks like a mountain, impossible to change, impossible to climb. But once we're up in the air, right, that mountain is just part of the beautiful landscape. You're above it. And so love will help lift your perspective, right? To see a bigger picture. Instead of focusing on the one tiny little thing we lack, or maybe it's a few things, but we ignore the abundance that we have in other areas. And so that gratitude is once we rise high enough, we're able to be grateful for all that we have that life is providing for us. Okay. And sometimes when we're soaring, we're doing our thing. And yet we don't even realize it sometimes. And I had an experience a number of years ago when I was part of CSL Southern Nevada, and we were doing an event in the community, handing out some clothes and things and some water. It was, if I remember correctly, it was August. It was hot. And we're in this area where a lot of homeless tend to hang out and be. They weren't living there, but they congregate there. And so there's this young man walking down the street. He's probably mid-20s, clearly high or on some type of drug, with no shoes on. And that was the first thing that got my attention was he's walking on the asphalt with no shoes. He's got to be burning his feet. And so we were able to get some shoes, and we gave them to him. He was grateful and as much as he could be. And he couldn't put the shoes on. He kept falling over, almost falling over. And so then I let him lean on me, and that wasn't working. And so I simply just got down on all fours and let him sit on me to put the shoes on. Now, I did this without even thinking about it. And I don't share this to be like, oh, you're amazing. But the idea was I was just in the moment. I was grateful to have obviously more in that moment than that young man did, at least clothing wise. Right. And just recognize the unity of love that's there. And so it wasn't until later, it was probably a week ago, when another minister who was there witnessed what I did, shared that kind of as an example of something. And that was like, oh man, that if I had witnessed that, that would be pretty moving. And so I share this because, again, I'm when you're in it, you don't know it. And sometimes maybe it's hard to appreciate it, which again is why it's important to stop several times each day and notice what you're noticing. Okay, not what you're lacking, but what you have in the moment. In other words, if you're simply just in a good place, then let's be grateful for that. because it could always be worse. Yes, it could be better, but let's be grateful for where we're at, for how much prosperity is around us, how much abundance is around us, right? Are you in a house with air conditioning, electricity, and a refrigerator? Then you're better than like 80% of the world. So let's be grateful. Let's, enjoy the view. Be aware of that view. And so let's kind of bring it home a little bit. How can we live this? How can we actually soar in love and life? One of the things I just mentioned, right, is our daily spiritual practice. Begin your day with centering, whether it's through prayer, a mindful walk, meditation, or simply writing a list of what you're grateful for, right? This is your morning takeoff. You're amping up your energy, right? So that way you have enough energy to get off the ground. And once we're off the ground, we can simply do random acts of kindness. In the Buddhist teaching, it's called loving kindness, because we recognize the presence of God in others. Okay, we want to assist them, and we don't have to go out of our way. There's always people around us, right? Wherever you are, to offer some kind gesture, even a good day, a good morning. Just leave them with a sense and a presence of love. Remember, love is not just a feeling. It's an action as well. And we are the movement of that love, of that feeling, of that presence. So in the other part is community, right? Think about it. Birds, most of the time, most birds fly together, right? And when they're flying together in their formation, they do that because it conserves energy within the group. And I believe our spiritual community acts the same way. When we soar together, we lift each other higher, and we offer the skills and education and trainings that can assist us fly higher and higher. And did you ever notice, particularly I think it's geese, they fly in their V shape. And I remember I learned about that. And what it is, there will be a leader, and they take on, and which means when they're out in front of that wind, they're taking the brunt, and they get tired. And then once they get too tired, right, they don't complain about it and force themselves to the fact till they're just down to one wing and drop. No, they just simply ease on back, and somebody else slips into that spot. Right? Think about that. And they communicate the whole time. That's why they're honking. They honk to each other. That's how they communicate what's going on and keeping each other's vibration up. And again, to me, that's exactly what love does and community does. It reminds us that we're never flying alone. Never flying alone. And so today, I just want to invite you to open your wings, to allow love to, recognize the love that is already lifting you up, and open your mind to the fact that it is absolutely limitless. That way, it can be an easy and graceful transition to rise above fear, lack, and limitation, right? To hop on the nearest current of love that you can get to and soar. That is my invitation to you today. And so let's practice. Let's look to our affirmation. Now, this affirmation is a little different. I like short ones. At the same time, sometimes a longer affirmation helps me anchor into it, and I want to share a little longer one today. So today's affirmation is, I rise on the wings of divine love. Fear falls away beneath me. From the heights of spirit, I see clearly, love deeply, and live fully. My life is God's flight in joyous expression. I love that line. My life is God's flight in joyous expression, soaring into the boundless good prepared for me. So it's already there. Now let's anchor ourselves in prayer. The first stage that we like to do affirmative prayer is the recognition. And what I recognize in this moment is divine love, is the source of all, is the one true power, presence, energy, and essence that is life and everything in it. Step 2 is unification. That's where I recognize myself as that divine love, as that divine power and limitless expression in my life as me right here and now. And 3, we come to the recognition, when I or realization, and when I'm realizing in this moment that it is all here right now, that everything in my life, in this one life, is provided for all. It is appearingly incomplete, and that is to our benefit. For God so loves us as itself, we are able to co-create, right? Be in partnership with the divine to create the best life we want, that we can embody. And so we're not asking God what it wants for us. We are simply allowing it to be, to trust that our desires, our wants, we may even call them needs, that is fine, and that the divine says yes every time. I'm affirming that our spiritual community is a great place to experience divine love, to learn how to practice, to be with other like-minded people who support, who show their love and kindness to others. And so then I simply step 4, I offer my thanksgiving. I am absolutely grateful. I am appreciative of this divine power in life, in love, not just in my life. I know it's all there is. So I declare that it is making itself known in, as, and through everyone that is in my community, everyone that is on this planet, everyone that is in this universe. And as I say everyone, I mean each and every individualized aspect of the divine that breathes and lives. And then simply the last stage is we release. And so I release this prayer to the law of God, that creative process that is limitless and all-knowing, to make it happen at the highest and the best way for each and every one. And we affirm together by saying, and so it is. Namaste, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Joe. That was delicious.
Delicious. Ooh,
Love is delicious. And I would like to bring you back during the announcements on the last 2 slides, if that's okay with you.
As long as Tony remembers to do that.
Yeah, to talk about the heart evolution, and also talk about the new offering that you're making, you and the class you're making for everyone, you and Reverend Rachel.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so we're going to go into announcements and affirmations and all of that stuff right now. So thank you so much. Okay, we have abundant prosperity. We give with Zelle. You can see the newsletter for instructions. Give online. PayPal link is at CSLSG.org, or use the QR code here. And you can give by mail. So any of those will work, and we appreciate everything. Thank you. Our offering affirmation is, I'm overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means, and so it is. We are having a Zoom meeting today. You can come and share your love with us. We would love to see you today. And that's at noon. And you can email some questions to Reverend Joe if you want, or just state them in the class or the gathering. Okay. The next in-person service is August 24th, The Turbulence of Love. And that is with Reverend Rachel. Prayer requests. Our practitioners are available for a moment of prayer today and online. You can email the practitioners for prayer. You can see us in person if we're there. Anything will work. We're willing. Thank you. Your gifts make a difference. Step into service and help our community thrive. Our volunteer opportunities are sound tech, video streaming tech, greeters, and kitchen support. Your hands, your heart, and your home. Okay, we're having CSL St. George Used Bookstore now, especially in our in-person gatherings, where you can donate a relevant book towards what we teach and how we feel. And you can take one and leave a love offering. You can browse the collection. I know I've donated a lot because I've had a lot, and that is ingrained in me, and I would like to share it with someone else. Thank you. Like I said, the upcoming services in person, Turbulence of Love with Reverend Rachel. And the following is us practitioners plugging in, and there will be 4 of us this time, so come and enjoy the ride. And so, yes, volunteers are needed. We're looking for helping hands. Our event volunteers, the day of support, like the one that Reverend Joe is going to talk about, a planning team that help prepare behind the scenes. So be a part of this special moment in our community. You can email stgeorgecsl@gmail.com. Sign up or get more info. Okay, I'm going to bring Reverend Joe back. Here we go.
Thank you. Here we go. So we've been talking about this for a little while now, and just to invite everyone to basically our gala. It is a wonderful event. It's going to include not only the celebration of, and again, we've used the term, it's almost like a marriage between, and I know I'm not new, it's just time that we needed to do this. So you're supporting me, and we're showing our support for the community. We're going to have live music and dancing. I hope you join me in dancing and food. And so it's just really our first major opportunity to get together. There is a link. Looks like it's been corrected. So and also Marina has done a fabulous job getting the information out in separate emails. So it'd be obviously open that and click on the link. We have to urge that everybody, you must register to be able to come, so we have an idea of how much food that we need to prepare. If you have any more or any questions, please email me and let me know. Next slide, please. And we have a class starting in just a few weeks. Reverend Rachel and I are teaching treatment and meditation. So treatment, we use that word in spiritual mind treatment, or also called affirmative prayer. So I invite you to take this class for many reasons. One of them is it was the class that helped me become comfortable with my own description and words for the divine, as well as you heard me do each step in the treatment today, to understand why we do it that way, and to make it your own. And so as you see, class is $199. There's 2 books that you need to purchase ahead of time. We do have those books available in person. So you can pick them up next week. Yeah, next week. Or online. I got them on Amazon. I think they both come to a total of $25. And if you've taken the class before, please, when you go to, I ask at the bottom there to email, let me know you're taking it. If you've taken it before, it will be, well, I believe it's $25 less because you're auditing the class. You're not a brand new person. If you have any questions, please either jump in the meeting today afterwards or email me, and I will assist you in answering those questions. Thank you.
I have a question for you on this class. If somebody chooses to become a practitioner, does this go towards their...
Great. Yeah, absolutely. It is an accredited class. Even if you're not sure you want to become a practitioner, it counts towards, how would I say it, officially crediting. You have to earn so many credits in order to have the opportunity to go to the first level of practitioner training. That registration is included in here, and we have to do that. That's something that we agree to in affiliation with home office. So yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone. we're going to bring everyone back on. Okay, so our closing affirmation, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it. Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming.
Thank you,
Thank
life.
you, life.
Life.
Namaste.
Happy Sunday.
Day of soaring to all. Thank you.
See you on Zoom.
side.
Zoom, zoom.